By the late 2000s, it was pretty common to see band-centric video games primarily through the Guitar Hero and Rock Band franchises. We had Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero Van Halen, and then Rock Band released their own Beatles Rock Band and Green Day Rock Band. There were even rumblings of other band-centric games that never ended up happening, including a Jimi Hendrix one and a possible Led Zeppelin one. But nearly 25 years prior, it was nowhere near as common to see band-centric games. But in just a few short years, the band Journey would not get one but two video games, and one of the games resulted in the company who made it going bankrupt, and overall it was a total disaster. That's what we're going to discuss in today's video. By now you're probably thinking about the 1983 Journey video game, but 1 year prior the band was the subject of a different video game called Journey Escape for the Atari 2600. It was backed by a multi-million-dollar advertising campaign, and the company behind the game Data Age would base Journey Escape on their 1981 album Escape. The promotional material for the game would describe the premise as follows. You're on the road with Journey, one of the world's hottest rock groups. A spectacular performance has just ended. Now it's up to you to guide each Journey band member past hordes of love-crazed groupies, sneaky photographers, and shifty-eyed promoters to the safety of Journey's escape vehicle in time to make the next concert. Your mighty manager and loyal roadies are here to help, but the escape is up to you. Journey Escape would feature two songs from the band's discography, including Escape and Don't Stop Believin'. The game would retail for about $35, a pretty steep ask back in the 80s, and hoped to capture the type of person who was both a Journey fan and a video game fan. Surprisingly enough, by the early 80s though, record sales were on a 2-year slump, but video game sales were on the rise, so it was a good opportunity for the band Journey. But the timing may have been bad, because by 1983 the video game market was struggling due to an oversaturation and the shift towards making games for personal computers. In fact, it came to light that years later, Atari was found dumping unsold copies of their games in landfills. The game would end up being a complete disaster, and the company behind the product, Data Age, would end up declaring bankruptcy in 1984. But it wasn't the only Journey video game we saw. By 1983, the band was promoting their latest album, Frontiers, and the adult-oriented rock band was riding high, as Frontiers was their 5th record in a row to go multi-platinum. The band would team up with a video game development company named Bally Midway, who is going to be putting out a video game on Journey to coincide with the group's Frontiers tour. The tagline for the game would read, "The hottest band in the country is about to take over the planet." The game would be released in arcades, and a home version would also be put out, but apparently the home version was a commercial failure, while the arcade version was a modest success. The game, just like Journey Escape, would contain licensed tracks of the group's music, albeit 8-bit versions. The game would feature digitized faces of the members on pixelated bodies, and the premise of the game was pretty simple. You'd have to take a spaceship named the Scarab, which is found on the group's previous album cover Escape, and visit various planets to reunite the band members with their own respective instruments so they could play a concert. Each planet contains obstacles which must be navigated around or through to recover their instruments. Once the instruments are recovered, the player takes the control of a bouncer named Herbie, whose job it is to keep fans and groupies away from the stage, while the band plays their latest hits separate ways. Faces magazine reviewed the game in 1983, calling it, and I quote, "one of the finest examples of the new breed of scattershot video game," going on to praise the, and I quote, "stunning visuals representing the absolute state of the art in terms of digitized graphics." According to DangerousMinds.net, the only arcade that still has a playable version of the game in the United States is located at an establishment named Extra Play in Ruston, Louisiana. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.